What's up, everyone? Welcome to this week's Tuesday tip. This week I wanted to share my all-time favorite shoulder exercise with y'all. I don't like speaking in absolutes a lot when it comes to things in the gym, but I do believe that this is absolutely one of the best ways to train your medial delt. I've been doing some variation of this, cable exercise for probably close to 2 or 3 years now, exclusively for my shoulders, and I feel like they have, grown accordingly. I guess before I show you the exercise, let me kind of touch on why do I prefer cables over dumbbells, especially for laterals. And the simplest answer is gravity, right? Why gravity, Hunter? So whenever we're doing a lateral, your shoulder's the pivot point, right? Hands holding the weight, gravity's going this way. If we're holding a dumbbell, how much resistance is on your medial delt? Let's go over what your medial delt's responsible for. Your medial delt's responsible for abducting your arm away from your body, right? So if you're right here and all of the resistance is pulling straight down, it requires absolutely zero effort for your body to maintain your shoulder positioned right here, right? With a dumbbell, because the load is going down. When we use a cable, I'll show you on one side first. Even at the very bottom position where we are, this is full range of motion, muscles fully lengthened, that load is pulling down in that way. It is pulling my arm back and into adduction. So by resisting it and keeping my shoulder positioning, I literally am active even in the very, very, very bottom of the position, which I do not have with that dumbbell. Also, if you look, the angle that this cable is making with my arm is just about 90 degrees. Mechanically, that's going to be when this cable has the most resistance. As you go through that lateral and that angle decreases throughout the range of motion, it will actually perceivably drop off in terms of resistance. This is, another reason why I really prefer using cables, is you're able to really get a much better resistance profile out of them. Meaning it is hardest when the muscle is longest and easier, has a perceivable drop off when the muscle is shortest, which is ideal. That's why people pay big money for those Prime machines, and why Nautilus was so groundbreaking with those cams, is because it adjusts the resistance profile to more closely match the muscle. So let me show you all what the actual exercise looks like now that I went over the why we do it. And it does take like a little dance to get into, so I figured I'd give you all the dance instructions. So left hand, left cable through there. Then you're going to do a full clockwise spin like that. So the cable's making like a J. And then you're going to get your hand through the other one. And what that's going to do is it's going to have them lined up behind us and crossed. So we're going to step forward, and this comes down to an alignment thing about how far forward or backwards we want to be. At the top of the rep, we want that cable to be running right down our arm. That's going to be putting us in what's called the scapular plane, and it's where the shoulder is most stable at and, capable of producing the most output. So once we have that cable alignment running down the arm the whole time, what we want to focus on is a couple things. You want to focus on keeping your shoulders down and back to initiate. And when you initiate the movement, thinking about driving your hands down into the ground. We don't want to shrug up to initiate. You want to drive down and think about reaching down and out. And then once you get up, think about reaching down or out and touching the walls. Okay, once you get to here, this is a full deltoid contraction. Any higher, if you look at my delts, they're not moving at all. This is all in my upper trap. So we want a full contraction, but nothing more. So like I said, shoulders down, dragging our hands through the dirt, then reaching out and touching the wall, and returning to that starting position. When you're done, pull your hand out, do your spin, and there you are. What do you do if you train at a busy gym, or you only have access to one cable, or you feel like a douchebag tying up two cables? Because these are all complaints I get a lot regularly. You do one side at a time. So to do one side at a time, depending on what cable apparatus you're in, like I said, do it, get there. Roundabouts, you're going to want to have the cable that you're doing it on with that back leg, equal with that back inside leg. Step forward, and then still same thing. Get a good brace. You're going to find that scapular plane. Get that cable running right down your arm, and return to the starting position. So definitely something you can do unilaterally. without taking up any more time, because while one side's resting, you're doing the other side as opposed to doing both at the same time and then resting in between the sets. So, that's the fix if you train in a busy gym or only have one cable. Anyways, long story short, like I said, this is my favorite way to train my medial delts. It's made up the large majority of all my medial deltoid training. The only other piece that I use to train my shoulders at this point is a prime lateral. Very much so set up in the same way to where the resistance is heaviest at the bottom and then lighter at the top. So yeah, if you enjoyed this Tuesday tip, be sure to implement these. I promise you'll get better shoulder development from them. And as always, come back next Tuesday for another one. Appreciate y'all.